Should gig work be just temporary? Should it be just part-time, extra money added to your regular job? Temporary to get you through in between jobs? Should it be just a stepping stone to move on to something bigger and better? That's what this video is about. I'm been thinking about this subject for days since I mentioned it in my video last night, but I was going to do this video the next time Pedro said that in one of his videos. He mentions all the time that gig work is temporary and it's only long-term for 1%, and that he thinks that it's just should be used as a stepping stone to move on to bigger and better things. And I was going to wait till he said that one more time, and then Dashing Trader said it at the end of his last video, his current video. If you check the last video he did, he said the same thing, gave Pedro the credit, and fully agrees with it. So that's two gig tubers that I watch that that don't want to continue doing gig work, pretty much, is what they're basically promising to leave the niche, to leave the gig worker niche, and that's how I view it. And I just want to know everyone else's opinion. I'm going to explain why I won't quit doing this work, and I've already said that several times in other videos, but I started giving rides in 2015, Uber and Lyft rides. And I did that for like 50 hours a week on top of my pest control job, which most weeks was only 30 hours. You just do your jobs and you're done, like on pest control. There's no clocking in, clocking out. You just get your work done and go home. But so it was a good mix to add gig work to that job. But I started clashing with my boss more. I started telling him off, and I knew I had the Uber and Lyft. I already had the Lexus on the luxury level and hung up on him a couple times. And it was great to be in that position where you knew you could quit and you already had your full income in place, ready to go. And I was actually excited after I fulfilled my full 2 weeks notice. My last day as a pest control guy was April 15th of 2017. That was a Saturday. We worked the third Saturday of the month in that company. It was the only weekend day we worked. And so I worked out my full 2 weeks notice. I think my boss thought I was bullshitting. He wasn't very tech savvy. I don't think he understood I had told him and threatened to quit several times and told him about that I was doing the rides, the Uber rides, but I don't think he knew what it was back then. So anyway, it'll be my 6-year anniversary coming up on April 15th, tax day. In a few months, I'll be 6 years full time gig work only. My full income has been gig work for going on 6 years now. And since I quit the real job, I've completely paid off my house. I only pay cash for my cars. I max out my Roth IRA to the maximum contribution you're allowed to put into it. And so far it's been better. And there's 2 reasons why I cannot see myself leaving this line of work. And when I took my first summer off, that upcoming summer in 2017, when I finally quit the job that was tying me down, during that time off, I'm like, I can't stop doing this. There's no way I'm going to be able to let this go. I got to keep doing this. This is an awesome way to work this thing. And I knew that, that Arizona, Phoenix area gig work sucked in the summer anyway, so I might as well take it off. So it's perfect for me, especially living here when business crashes in the summer. And the other reason is this YouTube channel. I'm proud of this YouTube channel. It doesn't make shit for money, but it's awesome. I broke through the barriers that YouTube puts up and doesn't promote you, doesn't push your videos out, and finally achieved the requirements. Took me 3 years, and then quickly went from 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers, and my YouTube income is my most proud income. I love getting those tiny YouTube payments. It's awesome. And YouTube channels continue to grow unless you totally suck really bad. They continue to grow slowly or quickly, but they don't usually deplete. They just continue to grow over time. So I can always hold out hope that I get 10, 20,000 subs or whatever, and it ends up paying $1,000 a month. Or so those are the two reasons that I don't ever want to quit gig work: the summers off and my YouTube channel about it. So that's what surprises me about these two guys that I'm subscribed to and I'm fans of. Pedro DoorDash Santiago and Dashing Trader now are two gig tubers that are agreeing with each other that this should only be temporary work and it should only be leading to something better. So I want them to specify a little more, especially Pedro, because he says it more often. And he was the one that originated this. In my view, I haven't seen anybody else mention this. So what's considered temporary? I'm beyond temporary, right? Going on 6 years? That's got to be past temporary. And then what's your time frame of being done with it? And Dashing Trader says he's moving on to day trading. What's Pedro moving on to? His YouTube channel's got to be his highest income source, I would think. Are you going to move on and completely stop gig work and transition the channel into whatever else you move on to, whatever the vending machines or the gear, the merchandise that you said you were going to start selling to gyms? What's the plan? I want to know the plan, and what's bigger and better than you doing a huge GigTube channel that has the most views out of any other GigTuber. Even the people with double your subscribers are getting way less views than you right now. What's bigger and better than that? I'd really like to hear that response. And the gig work, when I started it in 2015, there was way less choices. And I only knew of the rides. I didn't know of any delivery apps. And I remember the first time I ordered delivery on a gig app, it was Grubhub off of a laptop before I owned a smartphone. So I had no idea that I could be that guy I didn't even have a smartphone yet, so I couldn't at the time be that guy that was delivering that Grubhub. But there's so many damn apps now. It doesn't matter if one of them deactivates you, you can move on to the next one, and there's gonna be more. There's more being thought of right now. There's more about to be rolled out that we haven't heard of yet. In 5 years, we're gonna be discussing completely different stuff that we're talking about right now. And we're gonna be able to fill up 2 or 3 screens of our phone with gig apps. And they got the dog walking ones, and maybe one will ping you to go pick up someone's dog shit in their yard. Or, there's ideas right now that somebody has thought of, and they're worried that it's going to be stolen, and they're scrambling to get it, in motion. So I don't think that you have to quit doing this. Maybe it's because of my age and because of my financial wisdom and preparing for retirement, and I don't need to work much longer, that many years, but there's got to be more than the 1% to 2%. Like Dashing Trader said 1% to 2%. Pedro says 1% all the time. There's got to be more people than 1% that want to continue to keep doing this kind of work and not deal with the boss and the schedule and requesting time off and asshole coworkers and just all the shit that you deal with the regular jobs. So I think that this is a good choice for me, and I think there's only a couple reasons why people couldn't continue to do it as a long-term job, and that would be if you're a financial dummy and you spend every dime you get. Like my ex-wife, her goal was to drain the account to just change each time a paycheck went in, or to overdraw it. Those type of people are not going to be able to continue to do it because their car is going to go to break down for sure, and they won't have the money to pay it. You've seen the huge bills that I have to pay when they come up and when I have to replace the car. So that's one person that can't do this as a career, financial dummy with no financial self-control and just has to spend all your money as it comes in. And then if you're a lazy ass slacker and you need the fear of being fired to motivate you to get up and even show up to work, then that you'll never succeed as a gig worker, because you have to be self-motivated and money hungry to get out there and do enough to actually make enough to cover your overhead expenses. And those big mechanic bills don't kick in for a while when you first start doing it. It takes months for one of those to hit you, and then you're screwed if you don't have any money or if your credit sucks. So, but those go hand in hand, credit sucking and, blowing your money is, you can't really be good at one and not the other. So, all right. I just wanted to get that out there. It's been bothering me. I'm not trying to start any kind of rivalry, and I'm a fan of both people I mentioned, Pedro DoorDash Santiago and Dashing Trader, and I watch every one of their videos. I don't watch all my subscriptions videos. Some of them I haven't watched in months. So those two, I watch every single one of their videos, and I enjoy Pedro's live. His live is cool. It's like a chat room for gig workers in the comments, and every Sunday I watch most of it. I leave it on. I'm working during it, and I don't carry it into the GoPuff. I don't carry it into the restaurants because I believe that's rude. So I leave it on in the car and leave it running, and I participate in that live every Sunday. And you guys should too if you haven't checked it out. It's pretty awesome. So I'm not trying to start any rivalries, but I would like Pedro to acknowledge this and tell us. I'm really curious what his time frame is for moving on to bigger and better things and no longer doing gig work. All right, that's it for now. We'll talk soon. Later.